If you're in sales, you've probably heard this before. I need to think about it. And most of the time, that's where the deal dies. Not because the customer wasn't interested, but because the salesperson either let them walk or tried to force the close and lost trust. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to handle this moment without being pushy, without sounding desperate, and without losing control of the conversation. Because if you handle this one situation correctly, it'll save more deals than almost anything else you learn. First thing you need to understand, I need to think about it is almost never about thinking. It's a placeholder. It's something people say when they don't feel comfortable telling you the real reason. And there are usually a few things underneath it. They're unsure about the value, they don't fully trust something, or they feel overwhelmed with information. Or they just don't want to say no directly in front of you. Because think about how many people make decisions in real life. They don't like confrontation. They don't like saying no to someone who's been helping them. So instead, they use a phrase that creates distance. I need to think about it. Gives them an exit without pressure. But here's the problem. If you accept that at face value, then you lose your chance to understand what's really going on. And once they leave, you're no longer part of the decision. They're at home distracted, second guessing, maybe even talking to other people. And now you're competing with everything else in their life. So the shift you need to make is this. When you hear, I need to think about it, don't interpret it as time. Interpret it as uncertainty. Because uncertainty is something you can work through. Time, you cannot control. Now let's talk about why most deals die at this exact moment. Salespeople usually go one of two directions. The first one is passive. They say something like, okay, no problem, take your time. Sounds respectful, right? But what you're really doing is ending the sale, because once they walk out, the emotional connection drops, the urgency disappears, and the importance of the decision fades. What felt like a real possibility in the moment turns into, I'll get back to it later. And most people don't do that. Now the second mistake is the opposite. They get aggressive. They start throwing out discounts, today only urgency, and just extra pressure. And now the customer feels it. Instead of feeling understood, they feel like they're being pushed towards a decision. So they shut down even more. And now you've not only lost the deal, you've lost trust. So both extremes fail. Being passive gives up control. Being pushy creates resistance. The goal is neither. The goal is to stay in the conversation and bring clarity to what's actually holding them back. This is where you separate yourself. Instead of reacting emotionally, you slow everything down. Your tone stays calm. You don't rush. You ask a simple, intentional question. I got you. Just so I don't leave you with unanswered questions, what part are you still thinking through? Or, usually when someone says that, there's something specific holding them back. What's that for you? Now here's why this works so well. You're not challenging them. You're not trying to overcome anything yet. You're giving them space to explain themselves, and that lowers resistance immediately. Now it doesn't feel like a sales move. It feels like you're actually trying to help. And when people feel that, that's when they open up. Now, not everyone is going to give you the full answer right away. Some people will still be vague. They'll say things like, I just want to look around. I'm not sure yet. I need to think more. When that happens, you go one layer deeper. You stay calm and say, totally fair. When you say you want to look around, what were you hoping to find or compare? Now you're guiding them into clarity. And eventually, you'll land on something real. Either that's price, timing, trust, or just uncertainty about the product. That's the turning point. Because you're no longer guessing, you're working with the actual reason now. And once they give you that reason, this is where most people rush. They immediately jump into fixing it. But if you do that too early, you miss something. Because what they say first isn't always the only issue. So instead, you slow it down again and confirm, got it, that makes sense. Outside of that, is there anything else you're unsure about? This step is huge because a lot of customers have multiple concerns, but they only voice one at a time. And if you solve one, but another one is still sitting there, they'll say, I need to think about it. Now you're frustrated because you handled it, but nothing changed. So your job here isn't to fix it just yet, it's to fully understand. You want to get to a point where everything is on the table. No hidden concerns, no unspoken hesitation, because once everything is clear, the decision becomes much easier for them and for you. Now this is where most people think they need to close hard, because if you've done everything right up to this point, you don't need pressure, you just guide. You bring the conversation back to what they told you matters, and you say something like, Based on what you told me, this lines up with what you're looking for. Is there anything still stopping you from moving forward today? Or, if we handled that concern, would you feel comfortable moving ahead? What you're doing here is simple. You're helping them connect the dots. You're not forcing a decision. You're making it easier for them to make one. And this shifts the dynamic completely. They go from avoiding the decision to evaluating it. And when everything makes sense, a lot of times they'll move forward right then and there. Not because you pressured them, but because you helped them remove uncertainty. That's the real close. Clarity, not pressure. At the end of the day, I need to think about it isn't a rejection, it's just feedback. It means something isn't clear, something isn't resolved, or something hasn't been fully understood yet. And if you handle that moment the right way, you can recover the deal. Not by pushing harder, but by understanding deeper. If you got value from this, subscribe. I'm going to keep breaking down real sales situations like this so you can actually improve without sounding like the typical salesperson. I'll catch you back in the lab next time.